recovery meeting, and as I said, those businesses weren't physically impacted, actually just one, and if she's here, it's Hairline Salon. She was a bit impacted by falling glass because she's right next to, she's 79 Mulberry, so she's right next to 70 Mulberry, and as the firefighters were putting out the fire, the glass rained down in her backyard and affected some of her belongings. Okay. But other businesses were impacted by the effects of that disaster, and they're here today. What we're doing is that we want to, we met with them about 2 weeks ago, and the questions that they posed to us, I couldn't really answer them because they were specific questions, and those specific questions went to either DCAS or Department of Buildings or OEM, which is New York City Emergency Management. NISM is now the acronym for that agency, or other agencies like DEP for air quality. And I said, you know what, I have to bring those agencies here. So that's why we're here today, to get your questions answered by the experts of those specific agencies. Bear with me. Remember, I just got my tool, so bear with me. I know I sound horrible. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to start that, but just first I want to thank LDC. LDC is the acronym for Local Development Corporation, which is like a high-powered merchant association, because they helped us. They actually extended this room for us, which I'm glad it kind of worked out. You know, it was a lot of people, but I think the fire department won't throw us out. But we brought all the agencies in to answer your specific questions. And with that said, I'm going to have the director of Chung Park, Mr. Singh. I got it right?
Well, I'm Hong Sing Lee.
Right.
I'm actually executive of CME.
Right.
Our Business Outreach Center actually had organized an emergency meeting on February 10th and collected concerns about the area impacted by fire. So there are emergencies who we actually invited to the last meeting, and we're here today because they wanted to have a direct dialogue with state agencies responsible for different aspects of the recovery and restoration of the area. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Bathroom is actually out the store to your left and goes straight down the short corridor. And Charlie Lai is executive director of the Chung Park LDC. So we are in collaboration. In fact, they also help our expansion of our business outreach center. We actually have a storefront at 123 Walker Street, right around the corner. So if you need help with the business, Larry May, our senior business counselor, and Maru Liang, our business counselor, will be there to help you as well. Charlie actually is the host. We are one of the nonprofits in 70 Mulberry being displaced, and Charlie in Chung Park LDC as in this is actually our temporary headquarters. Charlie.
Thank you. One of a large group, and of course it's good to see so many different state agencies and representatives of the government to be here. And obviously, given the fact that the room is so full, means that there's such a significant impact to our community. Our partnership with CMP and the Business Outreach Center is actually in our effort to make sure that the local economy stabilizes and then continue to move positive forward. And with this tragedy that is being dealt with today, it just creates a much more urgent situation for all of us. And that the partnership with SBS is actually really important to get the necessary help that you guys need. So anyway, welcome. My apologies in terms of the room being a little bit small and that And I didn't get to set up the mic, so please speak really loud so that everyone could hear. And then at the same time, make sure that your questions are also being heard and answered correctly. Okay, so anyway, welcome to Chongpak. Again, if there's anything else, there will be SPS and also the people to work with you. Okay?
Thank you very much. And I'd just like a show of hands of business owners in this immediate area, just to give me an idea. Okay, thank you.
Organizations.
Oh, yeah, of course, the organizations also, of course. I just wanted to make sure I get it right here. All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, okay, with that said, again, this is to get your questions answered. What we also brought after this event winds down and has closed, we have what, for the business owners and the not-for-profits, we have technical assistance here by way of our small business solution centers, Lower Manhattan Small Business Centers here. We have the State Small Business Development Corporation here. We have our pro bono legal advisors. Pro bono is the Italiano for free legal advice. Okay? It costs you anywhere from $200 to $500 an hour if you hire a lawyer to answer one question. So we have pro bono legal advisors here to assist you with any of your lease improvement concerns, lease agreement concerns, or any legal concern as a business owner. And we also have Con Edison here, if you have any Con Edison issues or concerns related to your business. So we brought these extra services in to help you to get through this concern. With that, I want to start the program.
Sorry, just want to acknowledge GGG from
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was getting ready to just start that, okay? We have, if everyone has the agenda, as we have the local representatives. Now, I know that we're pressed for time, and I really want to get to the business owners' questions and get their answers, but we have representatives from your local political representative offices, and again, we'll have them introduce themselves. Gigi, could you introduce yourself?
Morning, Gigi Lee, Chief of Staff, Councilmember Margaret Chin.
Right, and our state assembly member here. Thank you, Claudia. I'm from our state senator's office. Thank you very much. Any other political affiliates before I go on to the next? Okay, we have your local community board 3, my favorite, Susan Stilson here.
Thank you.
Let me see, I think I have everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, my favorite again, also, Renaissance EDC, those representatives, please raise your hand, okay? They have the low interest loan. If you qualify, I am not the loan person, so but we brought that here. We also have the Chinatown bid. There's Wellington. Okay, what's your name?
My name's Tiffany. Wellington is on our board.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining us. Thank you very much. Pace University Small Business Development Corporation, Andrew Flam. Yes, my man. All right. And our Small Business Solution Center. Thank you, Rachel. Could you just tell us your name? I'm
William
meeting.
Conking on behalf of Center Director Ricardo Developer.
Thank you so much. It's the first time we're meeting, so we have a lot to chat about. All right. Did I miss anybody? I'm sorry.
Caden's son from Mayor de Blasio's office.
Oh, thank you. very much.
Actually, my colleague Andrew is also here from the Mayor's Community Affairs Office.
I am, go back and forth.
Well, that's Chinese Chamber of Commerce.
This is great. As you can see, we want as many representatives as we can for your assistance, for your benefit, and to answer your questions. I missed someone. Yes, the Legal Aid Society is here. That's one of our favorites. That's the pro bono free legal advice. Introduce yourself, please.
Siobhan Small, I supervise the community development project at Legal Aid. We have my colleague Herbert Sue, and Rolando Gonzalez is going to be here as well.
All right, thank you. 3 lawyers in the house, free, okay? All right, advice. I'm sorry if I miss anybody, it's just I'm a little bit like. Great, we have everybody. All right, now we're gonna start. We have, sorry.
No, I have a question before you start.
Well, I want to have the city representatives make their 2 to 3 minute presentation, and then we're gonna start the Q&A right after that. Okay, so, yes.
Sorry, one more. Mayor's Office, MWB.
MWB, yes. Shannon.
Yes.
And Sarah. Right, I met you the first night that we met with the business owners. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. That's the MWBE, another acronym for Minority Women Business Enterprise here. And all of you may be eligible to sign up to be a certified minority women-owned business. So take that advantage, please. I love New York. New York is a city of services. It's incredible. And we have everyone here in the house. Okay, I'm gonna start out with DCAS. Our representative is Deputy Commissioner. From the executive office, of course. And he is responsible, Quentin Hayes is responsible for the project at 70 Mulberry. And he's gonna make a short presentation and also will be here to answer your questions. And he has also another representative from DCAS, Joe Valentino, just raise your hand so everybody sees you, from DCAS. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. So my name is Quentin Haynes. I'm the Executive Deputy Commissioner at DCAS. It stands for the Department of Citywide Administrative Services. We are the landlord of 70 Mulberry. First, let me say, our hearts go out to both the businesses and especially the tenants that we've been working with. The fire was a tragedy. We have been doing everything in our power to both recover what has been lost, but also be of assistance to the relocation efforts of the tenants. And so I'm happy to announce both today and previously, as we've been working with the tenants on our relocation plans, we have found temporary, or they, as well as the community, have found temporary locations for a lot of their both continuity of operations and administrative offices. For those tenants that we have yet to find suitable locations, both long-term, we are definitely working with them in order to do that. I do want to provide just a quick update. I actually, apologies for being a little bit late. I actually was doing a walkthrough at the location to see about our recovery efforts as well as our demolition plans. Today, I'm going to announce that we are starting demolition at 70 Mulberry starting this Thursday. As we start demolition this Thursday, we'll be starting from the top floor on down. So we'll be starting with the 5th floor, moving to the 4th floor, then going to the 3rd floor. As we are dealing with real time here, this is the information that I'm giving to you right now. I kind of like to say on February 25th at 1:30. Are we at 1:30? 11:30. I'm already trying to get into the afternoon. At 11:30, this is the information that we do have. We have continued to keep the tenant update. There are primary customers in this respect. We will also continue to be updating SBS, OEM, FDNY, NYPD as our agency partners, as well as DOB, EP, and all the other agencies that we're working with to both recover as well as to think through the next phase of 70 Mulberry. As of right now, discussions are happening with the appropriate stakeholders to determine what the relocation plans will be, but also how do we rebuild and restore. The mayor has committed to that. And we are in discussions both with Manhattan Borough President's Office, Councilmember Chin's office, to talk about what that looks like, as well as HPD as well. We will definitely be in touch with the community. We will look forward to your support, your engagement to determine what 70 Mulberry looks like in the future. And we're open to any suggestions that you may have. So we're having those conversations internally, but we'll also be opening it up to the community. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I know there is a lot of both concern as well as angst to try to recover as much property that is still in the building. We are doing our best to both assess both DEP, DOB, FDNY to see whether or not our attempt to actually get into the building. And so as of this point, the building is still deemed unsafe. And so nobody is allowed in the building. There still is an ongoing investigation as well, which we hope to wrap up pretty soon. Once that is done, we reassess the building, and we continue to reassess the building. As we are demoing the building, we will determine whether it's safe enough for our contractor to actually retrieve some of the items that are still in the building. But at this time, the building is still unsafe, and we are not able to retrieve any of those items. So we'll keep both the tenants first, as well as the community updated. Again, just to let you know, safety is our primary concern. So we will not allow anybody in the building unless it's safe to do so. Do you want me to take questions now or later?
You know what, I think we need to go do that. We'll try to do about 5 minutes of questions. Because Haynes is one of the most important people.
So, my store, I have a flower shop adjacent to 70 Mulberry on the Bay Street side.
Yes.
So there has been work, demolition or removal of garbage, whatever you may want to call it. So there's something coming down from the 3rd floor, like in like garbage chute type of thing, and directly into our, the area right directly in front of our store.
Okay.
So as of last week, they have been doing this type of construction work, and I see that there's a sign posted that says demolition to be completed by the summer. Now, what type of demolition are we talking about? And there is a lot of dust, a lot of debris that I am eating up every day, and that I'm sniffing up into my lungs every day. Now, currently, every day I have a runny nose, I have a headache that doesn't go away, I have a lump over here. My neighbor, Mr. Lowe, he's afraid to eat. He closes his store just to eat his lunch. And you say demolition is going to start later. It has already begun. Now, I have this ongoing headache for close to a week already. Okay? My kids say it smells terrible. Now, when I look upstairs and I have pictures to show it, the people that's doing this demolition, they have masks, they have uniforms. I mean, if it's so safe, then why do they have all these protective gears? And what are you doing for the community that's living directly across from, the building? And is there netting? We talked about netting 2 weeks ago. Is there netting that's going to be in place? I mean, forget about, money that we can earn, okay? Yes, something horrible to them. I mean, I know them for many years, for 2 decades. I consider them my friends. And all the nonprofit, they're in that building. Yes, they do a lot of good for the entire Chinese community and beyond. But besides that, there are real small businesses. And when we say small business, I mean really small. I mean Mr. Lowe, 1 person. So when you tell Mr. Lowe to come here at 11 o'clock, he's closing our business. Me, 2 people. I'm here. I'm the designer of the company. Basically, I have 1 delivery person there that is trying to hold up the store. So this is a really inconvenient time, to open a meeting at 11 o'clock. Same thing for me. She's the cook, the chef of her restaurant. She's a bar owner. I mean, this is her lunchtime. This is not the correct time to have a community
Thank
meeting.
you. We want to get
But the main thing is,
we have other questions
the
now.
main thing is our health issues. Okay, now this headache's not going away. Okay, there's mucus coming out. The girl that's working for me, she has constantly a runny nose. She looks like she has a cold. Now, how are we going to resolve this?
First of all, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Before you spoke today, I wasn't aware of the issues that your specific business was enduring. What I will say is that we are taking all the safety precautions. I would love to speak with you both offline as well as anybody else who's receiving, because of the demolition, some type of adverse effects, and we can work with you. We are actually doing air sampling. So there is air sampling that is currently going on outside of the construction zone.
We also requested the air sampling reports to be posted, so it's like, oh, it's safe. What is safe? What are you talking about that's safe? You know, there's walls all around our stores, so we post it there. That's the...
So the air sampling reports are public. So I can get your contact information and send that information to you directly, and so that you'll have it.
She said she's going to do it as well, but the thing is that emails were collected and we send it our way.
This is why we're here. This is why we're here, Susan. So let Mr. Hayes just answer it.
The only thing I would say is I'm happy to address your concerns, and believe me, I'm sympathetic to all of both the impact it's had both to personally, your family, as well as the businesses. I think what we have been trying to do is we are required to demolish the building because of the safety.
The whole entire thing.
Yeah, we are required to demolish the building. The space in which we do that is subjected to the safety of both the area as well as the timing of the contractor. The fence is there for your safety. Again, it's my first time hearing that as they are putting things down the chute, it's coming into your location.
The fence needs to be there,
yes.
Okay? And because of what's happened to me right now, that I'm in pain as I'm speaking to you, that fence needs to be higher. There needs to be netting. I mean, you guys are doing garbage removal. I mean, what with the term safe? I don't know. I have a physical headache right now. We have mucuses running through our system. So that, oh, it's safe. It's not good enough for me. So if you're building like a fence, build it higher. If you need something to protect the community, you know, build it. I mean, you guys are starting the work already. So protect the community, as you guys say.
This is why we're here, Susan. This is why we're here. And offline, I want to talk to you about your medical concerns. Okay, see what we can do to answer that. But this is why we're here, to get these questions. And I'm sorry about the time. This time is the only time that we can get these important people here. So it's going to be 2 hours. That's what we want, so you can get back to your business. And this is important to you. So thank you for being here. And I thank the agency.
I do want to speak to you offline because I am concerned about the impact to both what we can do to prevent and limit the impact. And if that is building a fence that is higher, that you feel is there'll be better protection, I'm open to all of that, and I'm also open to having our safety folks go out again and reassess. But we have been constantly out there ensuring that the environment is both safe to the surrounding community as well as to those that are working. And to your comment about those that are in the building, we are ensuring that their safety as well, and that's why they are wearing protective gear and masks.
If they're, I mean, I picture them. I mean, they have masks covering up their whole face. They have, you know, protect themselves. Don't you think the community deserves at least the same?
I think that as folks are in the buildings, that's standard practice. So when you do have any type of demolition, specifically a hand demolition, you do have folks that are in protective gear because they're actually in there 24/7. So they're actually in the. And that's what I want to look into that. So again, this is my first time hearing of that, and so I'm happy to work with you as well as anybody else to address that.
Yesterday and also today, before.
Sorry, people are talking back here.
And also another big concern for our community is yesterday there was a fire truck stuck on Mulberry Street. Okay, your people, you know, the construction workers and the firemen, they all know about it. There was a fire truck that was stuck a little bit beyond 70 Mulberry, and it was stuck there for over half an hour. There's no way for them to pass. There was no way for them to back up. There was traffic congestion on Bayer Street from Baxter, and also traffic all the way back up to Worth Street. Now the reason, and I also have it on video, is you have a whole line of city workers, police cars, a police car that was way out there in which a fire truck cannot pass. Imagine if there was a person that has health issues that needs an emergency vehicle, or if there was another fire, there's no way to pass. I mean, that's not respecting our community. I mean, if it's really, you guys need to demolish the building, I understand, maybe you should completely clear off Lower Street for parking, you know, whatever it may be. Now, also the small businesses, all of us, whether it's a restaurant, and many of them, whether it's a flower shop, which we have a lot of, 4 or 5 big plants, we're moving it from a block away, okay? And the reason why is there's no parking. You know, everything is eaten up by city workers or whatever workers there are, and using it as their personal parking space. Now, you have to understand, we're carrying these day in and day out, and there's wear and tear on our bodies, okay? I'm a woman, I'm close to 50. There's no way I'm carrying like 4 or 5 big plants like this, because I'm afraid someone will ticket me, you know, 1 block away. I'm afraid of someone stealing stuff when I'm not looking. And, you know, restaurants that also have meat and other products. We have wholesalers, so you really have to understand the small community that we're talking about. We're not talking about, you know, 500 people, small business. We're talking about less than 10 people. And many of them, 1, 2, 3 people working in there.
That's why we're here, Susan. That's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else, someone else has a question? Thank you.
I so sympathize with you, and Quentin, I know that you and your team have done. My concern is prioritizing the real needs of this community. First, those businesses, and I hate to bring bad news to this conversation, but my colleague has a collapsed lung because of the work that we had done on retrieving 20% of our collection. So she had been handling the materials, and because of the dust and the debris that was on the materials that was extracted, she's been out for 2 weeks from a collapsed lung. I'm just saying this because I think we need to have transparent information out there about the potential of the dangers that exist for this community and that must be prioritized. So safety absolutely number one in a real way. Not just protecting the workers in the building, but all of us in this community that are trying to survive this massive tragedy. So I just want to say, Quentin, you know I respect you and your team. I know that you guys have been doing an amazing job. So that's point 1. Point 2, the equivalent of the Declaration of Independence for Chinese in this country remains in that building. Screw the fire investigation. Get the 60,000 items out of the building. I'm tired of being patient. It has been 4 weeks, and if we don't get that stuff out, the history of the people in this community disappears. That value of that collection for my back of the envelope assessment is $15 million. But not only that, it's not replaceable. So I appreciate that every one of those other organizations has equipment, has all those components. We need to extract that out. But I dare say, the comparable legacy of the community that thrives in this country, we're the only collection like its kind in the world. That has to be a priority. I'm saying it loudly because I don't think it's been heard clearly for the last 4 weeks. And people who know me know I do not raise my voice like this. But my patience on this is over. And we need to do, the Declaration of Independence is in that building, get it out for us. You're telling me if the Declaration of Independence was any other, you wouldn't take it out? I'm tired of being a second-class citizen. I want my stuff out. I want this community's history out.
Okay, we're definitely gonna make sure that happens.
Every day you wait, it's been 4 weeks. The back of the envelope assessment on getting that stuff out is millions of dollars. I need Quentin to prioritize this.
So Nancy, thank you for that. And I appreciate everything that you said, honestly. And I know we have been in conversations back and forth, and I think that the city is prioritizing it. We are trying and doing our best, both to figure out a way to recover those, all of the tenant stuff, as well as the things that are so important to this community and to your culture.
And it's the American narrative that's in that building. It's not just for us. It's for the American narrative.
I agree. And what I'll also say is that, and what I continue to say, both in our private conversations as well as publicly, is safety is the concern. We have not been able to send in folks to that building to retrieve items, whereas
robots. Get robots in there. Forget the fire investigation. You told me it's going to be 4 months until we can get stuff out because of the fire investigation. What are you going to tell me in the fire investigation? Maybe someone was smoking a cigarette, shouldn't have been in the building, fire started. So fire investigation is useless for this. The priority is not right now.
So I don't, it's not just the fire investigation, which I believe will be wrapped up very soon. It is honestly the safety part of it, right? As I've explained, both, again, to you directly as well as in the meetings that we've had, is that your artifacts are directly below what we're calling the collapse zone. The roof, I literally was late to this meeting and walking the building yet another time. We assess that building almost on a daily basis to see whether we can go in and get artifacts. I had my hard hat. I was walking the building myself again today, personally, along with the engineers, along with DOE. So we are trying every effort. We really are, and I understand the importance of it, and I can only promise you that I understand and that I'm doing the best that I can. The city's doing the best that it can, but we cannot go in there knowing that the actual roof can collapse on anybody that will retrieve the items, because that just won't be acceptable. We cannot continue to put people's lives in jeopardy to a building where everybody has deemed that it is potentially collapsible. So every day I understand that, every day that we lecture artifacts or the community's artifacts or the world or our history, and I included myself, my history too, I'm a part of the American culture as well, and I believe your history is as well. Every day that goes by, I struggle just like you, because I know your pain and I speak to you almost every other day. So I understand your pain. So all I can do is communicate and promise you that we're trying.
You got the best engineers in there trying to figure this out. Can you hoist that ceiling up? I don't know. I just cannot believe we cannot hoist that ceiling up and get this stuff out. Not just for us, but for HT Chen and others. I cannot believe there is no other way to hoist up that ceiling.
Well, we have Department of Buildings engineers here, so let's get that technical technical information that Quentin is speaking about. I've actually been doing this for, I'm gonna date myself now, 23 years, okay? I was at 9/11 helping thousands of small businesses that were impacted by that. And time, every disaster, I think we have about 1,000 disasters under our belt or more. Business disasters, let alone employees of those businesses. So we have scores in the thousands of cases such as yours, and it's always been safety first.
Well, we're
But
not
I
even
understand,
taking
we're gonna look, we're
safety
gonna look
precautions.
at it, that's why we're having this meeting. So I'm gonna go to the next, if anyone has any other issues for Quentin, brought up some real serious, issues, and I'm really pleased about this, because this is how we get things done, communication. Yes,
And we had a business merchants meeting last time, and I see some of the merchants actually have left already. I just want to make sure that the question were heard. So I collected some and I sent it to you already.
yes, we have the questions here. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have the agencies make their, we started with Quentin because that is the main building that was impacted. Next, we're gonna have Department of Buildings, so we can answer some other questions related to the questions that you have here. Okay?
Right,
We wanna get to them.
I want to bring it up because, like, I think I see May still here. She can be back to
Right, we can bring it back, and we're still here, we're the liaison between the agencies and the businesses, so we're gonna work together to get that to them
So
also.
I think it's important for them to hear it. So one of the, two key questions, one is air quality, the other is the barricade being closed, so close, actually on the sidewalk, all the way to the sidewalk on the opposite end of Mulberry. So they were asking, and I explained to them the last meeting that's with the collapse zone and all those things. But they were asking whether you could, that's why Susan mentioned about the safety netting. If you put a safety netting or scaffolding, would you be able to open partially Bayonne Street so there would be through traffic? So push the collapse zone back a little bit.
Okay, so we have.
Oh yeah, Department of Buildings. I'm not an engineer, by the way. Let's just correct that.
Right.
Not an engineer.
I think, do we have some engineers here?
No, not from,
No, okay.
not from the Department of
Okay.
Buildings.
All right.
All right, so I know you guys are concerned about the collapse zone. With that said, there's no way that we're gonna be able to reduce that, or actually, want to shrunk it a little bit. We can find out about the safety netting. to see for the debris. I think, what's her name, Suzanne was talking about, so we'll look into that. But because of the concerns with the demo and the unsafe condition in the building, I'm afraid we're not gonna be able to reduce the collapse zone because of that. The safety of pedestrians and businesses in close proximity.
Right. And the reason why they're asking that question is because they want through traffic on Bayard, which right now, I'm not an engineer, but I can see it's a little bit difficult because we have to demo the building, get the debris out, so there has to be enough area for the trucks to go back and forth, and a safe area, right, for everyone.
And for the contractors to be able to bring in the equipment.
And next, that's DEP. So we just answered that question with DOB. Let's.
I have one thing. So what we are doing is we're trying our best to actually lead Mulberry. When we initially had this conversation with the tenants, we said that we would eventually have to both do close, they would say close, as well as we would end up having to close off Mulberry. We have it in the schedule as it is planned now, is that we will not have to close Mulberry. And that was due to our conversation with the tenants about the importance of having that at least as a street that is open. So we were able to do that. So I just wanted to make sure I communicate that to you guys, that it looks like. And so I don't know, I think it may be helpful for us to really think through and work with DOT and NYPD traffic to see if there are other ways that we can reroute traffic so that, since we now know that that's going to stay open, at least the one of the lanes, we'll be able to use that. I don't know if rerouting traffic is possible. I'm not going to speak on NYPD's behalf or DOT's behalf, but it may be helpful to have a conversation with them to see if they're, given the importance of both the community and the business in the area, to make sure that they are able to do the delivery in a less impactful way.
One more question about what DCAS and DOT is that, so if the barricade has to be there, can the merchants put up signs on both, on the Mulberry Street side and the Mott Street side, so that people know that the stores are open? Right now, it was boarded up, people like from afar, thinking the street is closed, the shops are closed. So the businesses are suffering because people didn't know that they're open.
Understood. Do you mean signs on the fence?
On the boards, the barricade themselves.
Okay.
Like facing Mulberry Street and facing Mott Street, so on both ends, when people walk toward that area, at least they see that we're open for business, whether it's the flower shop, the restaurants, the hair salon. Understood.
The answer to that is no. And if signs are posted, the fines are very steep.
So what I'm going to suggest,
What we can do is, potentially, so she's absolutely right. So there's no posting on the construction,
on the fence. Yes.
But what we can do is we can entertain potentially if we want to hold like temporary signs outside of the area to show that the businesses are open and either have, I'm just thinking, being creative on the spot, saying whether you see where the directional signs are, so whether we say floors this way, X, Y, and Z this way, X, Y, and Z this way, so just to continue to push traffic.
Visible signs.
Visible signs, yeah, and we can work with you to see what that looks like, permitting and things of that sort, but other than that, I think we would be open
So
to
who do we work with to coordinate with? Okay.
yes.
And she'll make sure she gets all of us together to.
Okay.
And if I may add, we could also bring in the bid. Who's the bid rep again? Yeah, we could bring Wellington and, I'm sorry for Stephanie in, Tiffany, sorry. Sorry, Tiffany. Also bring in the bid, because I'm also thinking, as far as Bowery, if we could get some type of signage via the bid, DOT, to say Bayard is open to business, small businesses. So that's something we can definitely work out. That's why we're here. Okay? Some large banners.
Maybe some large banners that you can hang.
Right, banners, right.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that way.
we've definitely done that before, so.
No. The banners, no.
We'll take, we think we can be creative. I don't think, there's just a lot of just rules, but we'll see.
Quentin, I just want to go back on the timeline
Yes, ma'am.
for the demolition. Can you give us a sense of the timeline? Now, I know you said it's real time. What are we looking at in terms of from start to hopefully finish?
We're looking at approximately 4 months from the start date of this Thursday.
Is that based on an expedited schedule, or is that based on a?
It's based upon an expedited schedule.
Is it 4 months for the demolition or for the demolition?
We are looking at I'm sorry. Yes, for the demolition project. So we're looking to close out the project, the demolition project, within 4 months as of starting Thursday. I hope, because I think what you're probably getting at is like 4 months for a rebuild. Like that's a total different conversation. We're literally just talking about
demo, making it safe.
So to complete a rebuild, what's the estimated?
I don't even have an idea of the time is.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it will be a
I think
long.
it's important for the merchants to have that timeline as well, because some businesses are suffering. And they need to know, they have a timeline of like when the whole project's gonna be done, because they need to know that they sustain for that whole period of time. They don't wanna keep putting money in, hoping, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and then 2-3 years down the line, you know, they have to close up because they can't sustain anymore.
But also, when the demo is complete, you'll be able to remove, shrink the collapse zone with the fence in, so that should alleviate some of the issues.
But those barricades are gonna be there for years.
No,
No.
well, I guess for a couple months,
For a
until
couple
the
months,
demo.
yeah.
Just a few.
Yeah.
So once the demo is done, it's like she said, it's gonna shrink the collapse zone because you'll no longer have the safety issues with the building as far as the building collapsing. There still will be other issues that we'll need to address, as well as thinking through what the next steps for the rebuild. But as of now, you know, it would shrink the zone.
Yes.
I would like to consider putting a net or something, because I have to point out that there's a layer of dust on the street. There's a layer of dust, like you don't see it, but the reason I know is that I can't walk my dog down the street anymore. Her paws are totally massive. And I couldn't figure out why. This past week, her paws are totally black, and she's been walking that street for 2 years. It's never happened before. And now, the only thing is that just layers of dust that you don't see. And that's dust that's just settled, that's being settled down on the street and on, let's say, you know, on the stores. You can't see that with the eye, but I know there's a layer of dust. So maybe to put something because the stores are so close to that site. That's probably what Sue's concern is.
And we hear that concern, and I think that now that it's been brought to our attention, we will huddle internally as far as the city's concerned and see what remedies we have to address those. And it can range from what we think is possible, but I think the takeaway is that the community and the businesses are concerned about the both seeable dust as well as potentially inhaling any type of things that could come in. So that's helpful to know, and you know, we'll address that and see what remedies we have to do.
Yes, so we'll work together and see if we can install additional netting. I know you guys are concerned about the bright, the area is too dark and you need it to be bright, so we're gonna ask to see if you guys can install some additional lighting.
Yeah, so we can,
right?
for the streets, what we can do is we'll work with DOT, OEM, and DCAS proper, and we'll see what we can do to both light it up during the day as well as the nighttime. I understand from a previous community meeting that there was an issue with because the fence is so close to businesses, that hallway almost becomes like an alleyway. So my understanding is that folks wanted that lit up. We don't have an issue with doing that. So we'll figure out exactly where lighting needs to be, whether that's a walkthrough, and we can address that more immediately.
You could put lights that will come on.
So we'll figure out what is possible. I mean, I think that when you think of like the lights, I'm thinking really temporary lights until we think of like a full permanent solution, whether that is kind of erecting something more permanent. But right now, I think the easiest thing that the city could do is put temporary lighting up, whether it be light towers, and light it up, similar to how we were doing when the fire was happening. We were putting out the fire and doing kind of the recovery operations. We had temporary lightings up there, so we would just bring that back out. We would just need to know based upon where you guys would like the
Just
lighting.
make sure that the residents are not affected by.
Right, and I think that was the other issue.
Yeah.
So temporary lighting would be, it's a generator powered light, right? The idea outside of that would be potentially doing string lighting, but we would need to figure out and work with DOT on that.
And I think with that, we could segue to, I wanted to introduce OEM, but we want to segue into DEP for the dust issue and or the monitoring. So I will, well, maybe we should answer that question. Yeah, right. Thank you, Ira. Thank you. So we're going to answer that question with our director at Department of Environmental Protection, Charles Sturkin, our longtime ally.
Sturkin, running that outreach center for businesses and environmental issues. Who is Tommy Lynn, Community Affairs and we have the head of the asbestos control program for the city here as well. I talked to initially about air quality. We've been on site since the fire and monitoring air. We monitor for asbestos issues. There's a contractor, a licensed contractor on the site for asbestos during the controlled demolition. It's not unusual during controlled demolitions to take asbestos in place. As with all of our testing has shown, we have an independent air monitor there as well. All of our testing has shown that it's negative. There's been no positive indicators for any asbestos. And we'll continue to do that. We're actually have a contractor looking at the debris as well as it comes out from the demo that's going on. Our asbestos inspectors, Carl's inspectors, visit the site regularly to see that the contractors are doing well and the enterprises are doing well. So as far as general dust, as in any demolition, any dust, not contaminated dust, but any dust is supposed to be kept to a minimum and weighted down as anything. If it's escaping from the chutes, I just asked for a regular air inspector to go out there to take a look at the dust issues from the demo, and we can report it back to him.
Okay. So it sounds like we're so far dust, no asbestos, as we had spoke about at the initial meeting, because I worked at the Flatiron steam pipe explosion, and thousands of businesses were shut down until the city, Con Edison, and the contractors, the remediation contractors that they hired, cleaned every building 3 times, exterior and interior, 3 times, before they allowed business owners back into their spaces. And those spaces, we had office spaces. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. Yes, your question, sir.
I have a question, but I want to express myself. I'm working in the building over 40 years. Qiandan Center.
Okay.
From very first day was open for community. I was there. Until today, I still go there 8 o'clock in the morning. In the 17 Mulberry Street, it's part of my life. For over 40 years, more half than my life. I'm not 80 yet. Okay? And I want to see every detail, dust. I was questioned why they say they want even they put all the junk down, they still put water on because they want the dust. The minimum is possible. I just want to see almost everybody doing very hard. Fire that day, I was 8 o'clock until next morning 2 o'clock. I was standing in the ladder park until fire gone. And next morning I went again. It's 7 o'clock. I just want to say everybody together doing a little bit better. We're doing all best we can do. Get move fast, cooperate everybody. This is my feeling. And I am being led here over 40 years, not only 3-5 years. I just express myself. I'm an artist. Okay, if I'm not express myself, I am not an artist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, with that said, Ira, you want to just
Sure.
make a quick?
I'm just going to say quickly, if some of you might know who we are in New York City Emergency Management. We are the city's coordinating agency, and our role is to coordinate with our city agency, our partner agencies, to make sure that the right resources are available to the community and to the agencies as they respond. So, our operations team, our response team during the fire are out there to support the fire department to make sure that the right agencies and partners and the equipment that they need, if they're light towers or if there are other subject matter experts, can come to the scene. And then working with Bernadette and DCAS to make sure that the right people are at the table to answer the questions, the right subject matter experts are here. So we're here to support the community, we're here to support our partner agencies as we go through this process. And again, we're happy to hear the questions, and we want to make sure that the questions that you ask are going to getting the right answers from the right people with the knowledge. So thank you for including us, and certainly look forward to continuing to support your efforts in the recovery and community recovery in general. Thanks.
Thank you, Ira. And Ira is right. Ira and his group, his team, helped us to invite the right representatives from the agencies that are working on this project, 70 Mulberry. With that, do I have Department of Health here? Department of Sanitation? I know they make it, I'm just asking. And I just want to introduce NYPD Captain Nolte here. He's at every disaster, major disaster in our city, as well as Captain Murray from FDNY. The day of the fire, these gentlemen helped me along with OEM to update me and brief me on what was happening. I got there about 11:30 on the second day, because the fire started on Thursday night, and it was so bad it went on into the next day. And I must say, the fire department did a bang-up job in putting that fire out. So thank you very much, Captain Murray and Captain Nolte. At every disaster. He's the greatest. Thank you for coming. If you have anything to say, I appreciate it, but if not.
Well, I was just thinking,
yes,
with the dust, I know there's ways to mitigate, scaffolding around the whole building in Tyvek, basically. And, where the dust chutes come down, that can be also like a Tyvek capsule, just to keep the dust from migrating. I see that a lot there. That the entire building, a building like that can be scaffolded pretty easily. The entire building, Tyvek will keep everything really localized, and even if the dust is or isn't as bad as people may think psychologically, it would really help. I think with the entire neighborhood of seeing, something has definitely been done, but that would really mitigate a lot of the dust problem, I believe.
So we're definitely going to work with Captain Murray and the other agencies to help this problem.
Traffic patterns have to change, Bayard Street, temporarily make it one way the other way. It's only for a few blocks. Especially this is going to be, you're talking 5-6 months just for the demo, and then temporarily. Yeah, 6 months, you can change traffic patterns. It's not that big of a deal, but something like Tyvek in the entire building, that would make a big difference in the particulate mitigation of the demo and even the construction fall.
And that's something I'll take up with our engineers when I get back,
I
to see if that's possible.
That would definitely help.
Okay.
Also, I think the fire department investigation and presence of searching the building will be wrapped up within about a week.
Great.
Possibly by the end of this week.
That is good, because I still want to know answer. Why have fire? I want to know the answer.
I have a question for FDNY, because we keep calling the FDNY and the fire department keeps saying that under investigation for the last whole month. We keep calling every day, so can you tell us what's the cause of the fire? Only a month.
They're still investigating, so they don't have it wrapped up. When they have it wrapped up, then they prepare a report, comes out maybe 2 or 3 weeks to prepare the report, maybe a month. And then that goes to the insurance companies that are involved with the building. They can get that through fire headquarters.
Right.
They have a whole division that prepares the reports, and the fire marshals all type of they prepare the reports for the public. And the public can come to the first floor of fire headquarters and obtain this report from the insurance companies.
So what we will do, we've been doing this for eons. When the fire report is ready, my staff has already put in a request. As soon as it's ready, like Captain Nolte just said, instead of we, again, your liaisons, we will get a copy for you and email it directly to you when it's ready as business owners and the nonprofits. This is a service that we provide so that you don't have to go down to, leave your place of business to go down to the 1PP to pick it up, okay? So we've already put in the request, but it's not ready yet. As Captain Nolte said, it may, right, it does take a while. When it's ready, we will get that report for every business on our list and those who are not on our list who would like it, okay? It's a public document and we can get it for you when it is ready, okay? Yes.
Question for NYPD or DOT. Right now, Bayer Street is closed. Bayer Street is one of the few streets that would go eastbound. And with Wall Street being under construction for a long time, and traffic right now is going westbound. So all the cars are going eastbound, they can go eastbound, are going on Canal Street. Are there any way that we could change or finish the, what's the timeline for Wall Street to finish so that there will be a two-way traffic or at least some eastbound traffic that could be Canal Street?
All right, I think we're gonna have to have a conversation with the NYPD Midtown Traffic Task Force that control the traffic in Illinois. Okay. And maybe even walk through the area and survey what's on there.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
One more question about
Yes.
EV. I think Susan had mentioned earlier, would that be possible that the MRT report be posted on a weekly basis in the community so that the community is aware that the air quality continues to be safe?
We'll look into it. Maybe it's possible to, well, if we don't post it on our site.
And by posting on barricades.
Don't post it. The best thing is to hand it out to the business owner.
All right. You have my card. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Because then we could go right to our, if there are any other questions. What I want to say is, number one, thank you, because we want to go to our breakout sessions. Like I said, there some of the business owners left, that's understandable, but if you need legal advice, we have our pro bono legal advisors here, lawyers here, that will help you with advice for free. We have Con Edison there if you have issues with your billing concerns or any Con Edison concern. We have Con Edison here, John Leo, to answer your questions.
I'll do what I can.
Yes, John is the best. We're working together for eons. We have, right, we have our solution centers here and the Small Business Development Corporation here. So we have your technical / business advisors here, loan assistance from, as well as technical assistance, business assistance from Renaissance EDC. We have a myriad of services here for you as a business owner. And if you, yes.
Business technical assistance and business
Of course, with Chung Pak, right, yes, and right, thank you. We have all the services here, and I want to say thank you to the agencies, yes.
Can you just make, if possible, every agency's contact information available?
Yes.
Because there might be people who's not been
Okay.
able to come.
Right.
And so that we can get the contact information, and we can either, hopefully, you can email or contact them. That would be
I'm
very
sorry,
helpful.
you're from?
I'm one of the tenants at 70
Oh,
Mulberry.
good. Very good.
We're a nonprofit youth organization, a volunteer
good.
organization.
Great.
So I know that there are other people who cannot attend from the community, but I think it might be great if you can provide the contact information for each of the agencies that are here to make that available.
We have the sign-in sheets, and we'll make sure they get to the right people, such as yourselves, and you can share that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Did I miss anyone who needs to make a statement or concern